Hi everyone, it's me again, Mr Keeling. I hope you are all well at home and you're all working very hard, but also trying to find some time throughout the holidays to have a little bit of a rest. In today's video, we're going to be doing some problem solving maths. So let's get to it. So this is how it is going to work. I'm going to show you a problem. It's best if you have some plain paper or lined paper that you can jot your answers down on, do your working out on. If you don't, then it would be good if you had somebody with you to help you work them out. I'm going to show you each problem and I'm going to explain what I want you to do. And once I've done that, I would like you to pause the video. When you resume the video again, I will explain how to solve the problem. So looking at this one to start with, one thing I must point out to begin with is that C isn't actually pointing to one of the lines on the scale. C is in between the last line and the end of the scale. What I would like you to do is I would like you to pause the video and I would like you to work out what A is, what B is, and what C is now. Off you go. Okay, we have to work out scales systematically, so we test them. I'm going to test the scale counting from the 0 up to the 20, and I'm going to try counting in ones to begin with. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. That doesn't match, so it is not counting in ones. Okay, so I'll test the next number along, which would be 2. I'll count in twos, and I'll go 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. It matches. So this scale is counting in twos. Now, if I was a long way off when I started counting in ones, I might skip a few numbers and count up in those numbers instead. But I've worked out that this is counting in twos. So now I can work out what each of the letters are. The first one, 2. The answer is 2. I keep counting. 4, 6, 8, 10. B is 10. 12, 14, 16, 18, and 20. Okay, so here's my problem. There isn't a line where C is. I know that whatever number it is bigger than 18 and smaller than 20. In fact, it's right in the middle between 18 and 20. And there is only one number that comes in between 18 and 20, and that number is 19. So the answers to that problem were 2, 10, and 19. 2, 10, 19. If you got those, well done. Okay, this is our next problem. Add the correct symbol to the equation. So you'll see here I've got an equation with a missing symbol, and an equation, a missing symbol, and an equation. And here are the symbols that you can add. Equal to, smaller than, or greater than. Pause the video and add the correct symbols. Okay, to work this one out, what we need to do is we need to take each side of the equation and we need to work them out. So the first one I need to work out is 25 add 7. And that is just a count on because I'm adding a one-digit number. So what I will do is I'll put 25 in my head and I will count 7 more. Once I've done that, I get the answer 32. So now I know that that side is worth 32. Over here I do 6 times 5, so I count in my 5s 6 times. So that's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and 30. Now I can see clearly if the sides are equal or if one is greater than the other. This side is greater than this side, so I need the greater than symbol. 32 is greater than, bigger than 30. And we do the same down here. So we do division. Remember, with division, we can use our multiplication to work it out. We need to find out how many 4s fit in to 40. But I know something else which will make this one easier. I know that dividing by 4 also means finding a quarter. So what I could do to find the answer to this one is to half 40 and then half it again. So first I'll half 40 and get 20. Then I will half 20 and get 10. 4 10s make 40. Over here, simple subtraction and one-digit number, so I'm just going to count backwards in my head. I'm going to put 13 in my head and count backwards 3. So 13, 12, 11, 10. So this side is 10 and this side is 10. The only symbol that could go in the middle then is equal. Both the sides are the same, so both sides are equal. If you got that correct, well done. Okay, here is our next problem. You have 4 shapes: an equilateral triangle, a square, a regular pentagon, and an oblong. And all I want you to do is find the perimeter. Pause the video now. Right, starting with the equilateral triangle. Because it is an equilateral triangle, all the sides are the same. So I know that if that side is 3 centimeters, I know that that one is also 3 centimeters, and that one is also 3 centimeters. So it is 3 times 3, or 3 add 3 add 3. Either way, the perimeter of that shape is 9 centimeters. Over here, this is a square, albeit a badly drawn square. It is still a square. And again, with a square, all the sides are the same length. So I know that that one is 4 centimeters, that one is 4 centimeters, and that one is 4 centimeters. So it's 4 times the number of sides, 4. 4 times 4. Or 4 add 4 add 4 add 4. 4, 8, 12, 16. 16 centimeters. The regular pentagon, and I stress the word regular, this would be an irregular pentagon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. An irregular pentagon still has 5 sides, but they are of different length. A regular pentagon, all the sides are the same length. So this one we've got 5, 5, 5, 5, and 5. 5 times 5, which is 25 centimeters. And our last one here, the oblong, is made up of 2 sets of parallel lines. These parallel lines here, running horizontally, and these 2 parallel lines running vertically. The sets of parallel lines are the same length. So if I know that this top horizontal line is 3 centimeters, I know that the bottom horizontal line is 3 centimeters. And if I know that this vertical line is 1 centimeter, then I know that this vertical line is 1 centimeter. And then all I do to find the perimeter of this shape is add all of the centimeters together. So 3 add 3 is 6, 7, 8. The answer to that one, 8 centimeters. Well done if you got all of those correct, and if not, then maybe you will do better with this next problem. The next problem here is a time problem. So here it states that the time is 3:30 p.m. I want to know what time it will be in an hour and a half. Pause the video and off you go. Okay, first we need to look at the language here. The language, will it be, what time will it be, suggests future tense. So if it's going to be in the future, we are adding time on to this number. How much are we adding? Well, we are adding 1 hour and half an hour. What I need to know here is how many minutes are in an hour. In 1 hour, there are 60 minutes. If I know that there are 60 minutes in 1 hour, I also know that half an hour is 30 minutes. So what I can do now is I can take the minutes and add them to the minutes. 30 add 30, 30, 40, 50, 60. 60 minutes is an hour. So I can get rid of the minutes completely and add on an hour, taking me to 4 p.m. So if I add half an hour to 3:30, I get 4 p.m. And now all I have to do is add 1 more hour to the 4. What's 4 add 1? 5. 5 p.m. So what time will it be in an hour and a half? From 3:30, it will be 5 p.m. If you got that right, well done. And if you knew that there was 60 minutes in 1 hour and 30 minutes in half an hour, well done again. The next problem is just a simple set of times table problems, the ones that you should have been learning, 2s, 5s and 10s. So all I want you to do is pause the video and work them all out. Okay, so when we ask for you to learn the times tables at home, yes, an initial step would be to learn to count in them. So this one, for example, it is 2 times 5. I could count 2 5 times, so I could go 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 and get the answer 10. But really what we want you to do is to memorize the answers to these, so you don't have to do any working out. You can literally just off by heart write down all of the answers to the different problems from memory alone. Now, I'm not working any of these out. I'm just remembering. I'm not counting in the number. I am just remembering the answer to them. Because times tables that we give you at home are just that, a memory skill. Learning them off by heart. Check the answers to your answers, and if you got them, well done. Okay, your next problem is a set of 4 division equations. Now remember, you may use the inverse multiplication to work out a division problem. So for example, this one, 25 divided by 5, you could work out how many 5s through multiplication make 25, and that would be your answer. Another way of doing it would be to actually split the 25 into 5 groups, because you are dividing it by 5, and count 25. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 until you get to 25, and then you would see how much is in one group. That's the longer way of doing it. The quickest way is to try and work it out using your multiplication. Pause the video, give it a go. Okay. As I said before, you can work it out this way. You could count, I got to 10, so if I double that, 4 in each, that would be 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, and the answer would be 5. However, the quickest way would be to do it counting in 5s, using my multiplication to solve. So I want to figure out how many 5s are in 25. So I just count 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. There are 5 5s in 25. That is the answer. This one, how many 10s are in 40? 10, 20, 30, 40. There are 4 10s in 40. So when you divide 40 by 10, you get 4. Same again over here. How many 2s make 16? Well, that's 8. So 16 divided by 2 is 8. And down here, the answer would be 11, because 11 multiplied by 5, the inverse checking, would be 55. And if you got those, either way, if you had to draw them out, or if you worked them out with your multiplication, a big well done to you. Okay, with these next few equations, I am not looking for the answer. Of course, I would like you to get the answer right, but really the important thing is, can you spot the best way to solve the problem? Have a look at that one, pause the video, and when you're ready, I'll show you. This is a round and adjust problem. I wouldn't add 29 and 25, because if I look at those two numbers, 29 is very close to 30. If I added 1 to that, it would be 30. So what I will do is I'll remember that I've added 1 to the equation, because I can take that away at the end, and I will turn that number into 30 and get rid of the 29. Now, this is a very easy addition problem, because I have no 1s to add to the 5, meaning that the 1s column over here will be 5. And now I can just add the 3 10s to the 2 10s. 3 10s add 2 10s, 3 add 2 is 5, giving me the answer 55. But earlier on, I added the 1, so right at the very end, I must subtract the 1, giving me the correct answer, which would be 54. Well done if you got the answer 54. But even more impressive, well done if you got that this was a round and adjust problem. And looking at this equation, can you tell me the best way to solve it? Try it now. Pause the video. Okay, the first thing to notice here is that if I add the 10s together, it's not going to cross over into the hundreds column. And if I add the 4 and the 3, it is not going to go over 10. Because they're not going over 10, this is a very simple partition problem. And what I would do is I would add the 1s first. 4 add 3, which is 7. And then I would add the 10s. 3 add 1, which is 4, 47. Partitioning. Well done if you got that as an answer. Okay, looking at this equation, how would you solve it? What's the best way? Pause the video and try it. Because I'm adding here a 2-digit and a 1-digit number, I'm not going to do any form of written mental method, because this is what these are. These are mental methods, methods that you solve in your head, but I'm just showing you the different ways of doing that. I'm not going to write anything for this, because all I'm going to do is I'm going to take that number, I'm going to pop it in my head, 22, and I'm just going to count 6 more, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. I'm only adding a 1-digit number, so I'm just going to count that on. That was a count on question. Here is your next one. What is the best way to solve it? Pause the video and give it a go. Right, well, the first thing to spot here is that there is a number bond. 8 and 2 make 10. So what I could do is I could turn this into 20, add 30, add 10 by putting those together and separating them from their numbers. Then all I have to do is add the 10s, which is 20, add 30, 50, 60. 60 is the answer. Now, throughout all of these, if you can't spot one of these quick mental methods to solve them out, to figure them out, you can always fall back on our written method that we use in school, which is the number line method. So I would start here with the biggest number, 32, cross that out, and then I would add the 28, 10, 20, 2 10s, and 8 1s, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You can add the 8 all together by counting on, or you can add the 1s, it's up to you, but then I start to work out. So I've got 32, add 10, 42, just the 10s increase, add 10, 52, just the 10s increase, and now I count up. 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60. Same answer. So all of these, you could use the number line method to solve it, even the count on one, even though you would just literally be counting, which is what you're doing anyway. But you can fall back on the number line method if you can't spot the number bonds or any of the other mental methods for solving those equations. Okay, looking at this equation here, can you find the best way to solve it? Pause the video. And here I would use the house number method, where I borrow parts of other numbers to make the numbers that I'm adding easier. So straight away I can spot here that there's a number bond. 3 and 7 make 10. So if I take that 3, I can turn that into 30. So I'm going to turn that number into 40, having borrowed the 3, add the 3 on there, and then I've got 30 over here. Okay, I want this number to be 10, so I'm going to get rid of that 3, make it 10, and I'm just going to put that 3 with that 6. So I'm going to add that 3 to that 6, which gives me 9. Perfect. And then I'm just going to put them all together. So I've got 40 add 30, which is 70. Add 10, which is 80. 80 has nothing in the ones column, so I simply slot the ones in. 80 add 9, the answer 89. And if you used the house number method, fantastic, well done. For this problem, I would like you to look at the array over here and tell me what 4 equations could you write for it. Pause the video and give it a go. Okay, first of all, we can see here the number 3 repeating. 3, 3, 3, 3. And it is repeating 1, 2, 3, 4 times. So what I can do is I can write 3, repeated addition is multiplication. The number 3 repeats 4 times. So it is 3 times 4. If I don't know 3 times 4, I can just literally count the circles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and I've got my answer. I also have, because of the commutative law, I have another equation. I can just simply swap the 4 and the 3, and the answer would still be 12. 4 multiplied by 3 is 12. Now, finally, what I can do is I can use the inverse of each of these to show a division. So I could take the 12 from there, divide it by the 4, and get the answer 3. And I can take that 12 there, divide it by the 3, and get the answer of 4. And I can test that. Look, I have 12 here. If I divide it by 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, there would be 3 in each. And if I divided it by 3, 1, 2, 3, there would be 4 in each. Those are the 4 equations that match my array. Check yours, and if you got that correct, well done. Our final problem is a word problem, and I'm going to read it out to you now. Aisha has 20 cubes, and Alicia has 5. Aisha says she has 4 times as many as Alicia. Alicia says Aisha has 15 more. Who is right? Pause the video and work it out. Now, for this question, you have to be very, very careful, and you have to try and work out every part of it. The first thing I know is that Aisha has 20 cubes and Alicia has 5. Aisha says she has 4 times as many as Alicia. 4 times. Times there is the clue. We are doing multiplication. So as many as Alicia. Alicia has 5 times 4. Okay. We take 5, we multiply it by 4. 5 times 4 is 20. Yes, Aisha does have 4 times as much as Alicia. So Aisha is correct. However, we don't stop there. We test every part of the problem. Alicia says Aisha has 15 more. Now, you have to be very careful with the word more. More suggests that we add, but that's not what we are doing. What we are doing here is actually subtraction, because what we want to do is we want to find the difference between these two numbers. And if the difference between these two numbers is 15, then yes, Aisha will have 15 more. To work out the difference between, I take the 20 and I subtract 5. So this part is a subtraction. 20 subtract 5 is 15. Aisha says Alicia has 15 more. She does have 15 more. So Alicia is also correct. So when it asks you who is right, the answer is both of them are. That was a little tricky. So if you got that very last problem, a big well done to you. I hope you enjoyed that video. You don't have to solve them all at once. You could do maybe a couple a day. Or if you have gone through the video and have solved them all, if there was some that you struggled with, why not try those again tomorrow? I hope you have fun with the problem solving, and I'll see you again soon.